Fayetteville, Arkansas. This is the Home Depot SEC on CBS. The 16th ranked Bulldogs of Mississippi State versus the embattled Arkansas Razorbacks. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Rick Neuheisel, John Schriffen join us here in a moment. Last week, Mississippi State went toe-to-toe, held their own with Alabama. A lot of people said Mississippi State proved something in that game. That's not the way the Bulldogs looked at it.
No, they expect to win. This isn't the little engine that could anymore. This is a program that has won consistently. Remember, they were ranked first in the first ever college football playoff poll in 2014. They're a 7-win team with a chance to get to 9, and their 3 losses have been to teams that are currently ranked in the top 7. With all that said, though, this is the second of 3 games in a 12-day window. They're coming off a tough emotional loss against a physical Alabama team. I think a storyline we should follow today is how well Mississippi State responds.
Dan Mullen has another dual-threat quarterback putting up big numbers at Mississippi State. Nick Fitzgerald said he learned a lot from his time tutoring under Dak Prescott, and the numbers reveal it. He has worked himself into being one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC, one of the top dual-threat quarterbacks in college football.
He's the quintessential dual-threat quarterback, and I was really impressed a week ago with how his passing game is elevated, especially on 3rd down. He was 5 for 7 for 80 yards, and then he brought the physicality that we come to expect from him, extending drives on 3rd down, bowling people over for a touchdown. How he shows up today will go a long way on how the Bulldogs fare.
Rick, meanwhile, there has been plenty of palace intrigue around the Razorbacks this week.
Well, it has been tumultuous in Fayetteville, needless to say. Jeff Long, the longtime athletic director, was terminated earlier in the week, raising all sorts of questions about the future of Bret Bielema. But Coach Bielema, to his credit, is focusing on the positive, namely the return of senior quarterback Austin Allen. Allen got in limited action last week, 13 of 23 for 140, but all reports say he's had his best week of practice, and they're going to need him, guys, if they're going to have a chance against this Mississippi State team. If there's good news, he threw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns in a win against this same Mississippi State team a year ago in Starkville.
Here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, the temperature is dropping as we near kickoff, and the wind is starting to pick up. 49 degrees right now, and the wind will factor into both kicking games. And Mississippi State won the toss, deferred to the second half. So it's Logan Cook to kick off. Warren is back, and he will be a touchback. We check in with John Schriffen.
Well, Carter, it has been one tough week for Arkansas. It all started last Saturday with a loss against LSU. Then less than 24 hours later, quarterback Cole Kelly, who played in that game, arrested, charged with a DWI. He has been suspended indefinitely, will not be on the sideline today. Then on Wednesday, athletic director Jeff Long, who hired Bret Bielema, was fired. We spoke to linebacker DeJohn Harris, who told us, we understand how the fans feel. Right now we're playing for pride, respect, and we need to stay focused. They know if they win these last 2 games, Arkansas is bowl eligible. Carter?
Coach Bielema told us there's one certain thing. The more I win, the better it is for everybody. So try and get a one today against Mississippi State. Whaley on the carry. Let's take a look at our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. Beginning with the quarterback, Austin Allen. As few as 2 games left as the Razorbacks quarterback. Raised here. His dad, Bobby's been on the staff for 20 years. Took over for his brother, Brandon. On October 8th, Austin Allen thought his career was done. Shoulder injury. But this is his second start in his second chance to close out his Arkansas career. And Whaley on the left side, bringing up 3rd down. Here's Rick's report on Austin Allen.
Well, if there's one thing they love about Austin Allen here is his toughness. He stands in the pocket amidst all sorts of flying debris and looks for his target unwaveringly. But sometimes he's too deliberate, and it cost 35 sacks a year ago. It's going to have to be much better today if they're going to hang in there with these Bulldogs.
On 3rd and 7, Allen takes a pop in the pocket, incomplete. Looking for Jordan Jones, redshirt freshman over the middle, and the Razorbacks begin with a 3-and-out.
This is one of those plays where the receiver really can help the quarterback by throttling down. He's running into traffic, and you can see Austin Allen doesn't want to throw him into it, ends up throwing behind him. But really what needed to happen is Jones needed to just sit down a little bit, as you can see all that those white jerseys out in front of him.
And not the fast start that Dan Enos, the offensive coordinator, was talking about. going 3 and out here early. This Arkansas team has to get some rhythm going early offensively, and that's not how they wanted to start.
Lake Johnson hits it at the 19. Dedrick Thomas lets it bounce, and it is scooped up.
I think that hit an Arkansas
exactly
player.
right. Oh, this is going to be a tricky one to sort out. For now, the call is Razorback football.
It was interesting. You saw the football definitely hit a player, but I couldn't tell whether it was an Arkansas or Mississippi State player. I thought it was Arkansas with the naked eye, but in fact, it's Mississippi State.
Definitely.
This is going to be Razorback football.
And this is the sort of thing the Razorbacks needed in this kind of game. Been this kind of week, everybody wondering about the future of the program. A short field right now, see if they can capitalize.
And I think they have to be aggressive here, Rick. They got a sudden change. They need to take advantage of it. They wanted to take some deep shots and connect on the deep balls. This is a perfect situation for a double move and play action.
Off the helmet of Dantzler. And then Kern recovers it. Austin Allen to throw first down. And that is complete on the edge. Dion Stewart makes the grab.
Perfectly thrown ball. Nice timing. Austin Allen drops back. This is Dion Stewart. Good job with the move. Creates that separation. The ball's thrown beautifully. A missed tackle, and Stewart does the rest.
So a second chance on the opening drive now for Allen and the Razorbacks.
Stewart, one of the big play guys that Dan Enos is counting on to get some explosive plays, something they've been lacking.
Williams is in the backfield. First and 10, Williams will take it right side. He has a hole inside the 10. Williams battering his way inside the 5. First and goal, Arkansas.
This is just a simple inside zone to the left, and now you see Arkansas using some tempo. They've done that earlier in the year, but down here in the red zone, they're trying to keep Mississippi State on their heels. I like the adjustment.
32 yards on the last 2 plays, and Williams has it again, barreling into the end zone. Touchdown Razorbacks. A statement run from David Williams, and a drive that was a 3 and out. And yet it ended up back in the Razorbacks' hands. So officially put it down as 3 plays and a touchdown for the Hogs.
Boys, remember talking to Paul Rhodes yesterday, the defensive coordinator for the Hogs, and saying how important it was that the Razorbacks get off to a fast start to get the crowd into it, get some belief back here in this program.
The PAT is good, 7-0. So Mississippi State had Arkansas stop. 3 and out on a special teams miscue. Puts it back in the hands of the Razorbacks, and Williams answers the call. Touchdown, Arkansas. David Williams, a senior from Philly, started his career at South Carolina. Now he's a Razorback, and he's finally back in the end zone. A chance for us to look at our 3 questions, beginning with Rick.
The key here for Arkansas, can they be 50% on third downs? I think that's critical to stay on the field and rest that defense as much as possible.
And I think can Mississippi State play a clean game? We've already seen a turnover to start this game. That's not what they wanted to do. They were excellent a week ago, which is why they took Alabama to the wire. This wasn't the start that they wanted either.
11 a.m. Been a bumpy week. Been reading up on Machiavelli, getting ready to come down to Fayetteville. Will the Hogs answer the call? I guess the answer is no, and then yes. 3 and out. Get the football back.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
So now Mississippi State has another chance after the special teams mistake and punt return. Todd has this one at the 10, and Todd is wrestled down. I was looking at the same thing, Rick, wondering whether the Razorbacks had pulled it away as we take a look at our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. Nick Fitzgerald told us this week before Dan Mullen offered him a scholarship, he wasn't going anywhere. The Bulldogs were his first offer, then Middle Tennessee State. Told us extremely happy to be here as the bell cow for Mississippi State. So really from an also-ran recruit, one of the best quarterbacks in college football. It is Nick Gibson who joins him in the backfield for first and 10. Quick hitter to the outside. That's complete. Jackson has it Gets it to near 19. Let's check out Rick's report on Fitzgerald.
Well, Fitzgerald is the ultimate dual threat quarterback. He had over 1,000 yards rushing last year. That he is going to be the straw that stirs the drink for Dan Mullen in this offense. If there's a question mark, it's his accuracy. Missed a couple of deep shots last week against Alabama. He can get that percentage up to around 65%. He'll be the full meal deal.
On 2nd and 8. Hit, loose football. Bulldogs get right back on top of it. Second time that the ball has hit the ground for Mississippi State. First 3 minutes of the game.
And that's McTelvin again doing a nice job working off the left side. He's a young player that started a year ago. Here he is at the left of the screen, working over the right tackle, Stuart Reese. This is one of the better offensive lines in the SEC. Only 6 sacks allowed coming into today, so great job by Agim getting his hand on the football. Mississippi State lucky there.
One of those sacks opening drive versus Bama. And now the Bulldogs forced into 3rd and 14. So Fitzgerald, quick hitter to the edge. That's Todd, and he is forced down at the 20. The Arkansas D gets a 3 and out. Randy Ramsey, the Razor.
I thought you were going a little Randy Watson there. Randy Ramsey doing a nice job. This is the exact start. You can feel the energy in this stadium start to shift with the big turnover, the quick score, and a 3 and out by their defense. This is exactly what Coach Bielema could have hoped for to start this game.
Paul Rhodes clairvoyant. He said we're going to get a fast start tomorrow. McTelvin again making that big play, getting the big sack early in the game.
Logan Cook punts it. Fair catch, Tolliver backs up. Well, on a zing-zang kickoff day here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Razorbacks sue it. Dan Mullen said when these two get together, you don't know what to expect. Already a eventful start. So that sack, just the 7th allowed by Mississippi State, but opening drive versus Alabama, opening drive next week against Arkansas. Hammonds and Johnson are in the backfield. Austin Allen, there's a toss. Hammonds on the edge. Hammonds is dropped. Didn't get very much there, 18.
No, they certainly didn't. They thought that they could run the ball a little bit more up inside, but when they throw it today, keep your eye on number 13, Deion Stewart. Already making his presence felt. Caught a nice ball, got the first down, made a guy miss. This is a young wide receiver core. This offense, fellas, all season long been decimated by injuries. So Stewart is one of those bright new faces that this offense is reliant upon.
Calling a loss of 1. Dantzler tackled for loss. Allen, 2nd and 11, loads up, flings, wide open. Deion Stewart, he holds it in. Just inside the 50. No chance to run after the catch, but it'll go down as a big one in the pass game.
Deion is going to want to watch this on film and say, how can I not stay up? There was nothing but pay dirt lying ahead. Little scissors package right here. One guy to the post, one guy to the corner. Confuses Mississippi State. Nice throw and catch.
Got to stay on your feet there, but that deep ball was something that they wanted to work on. Austin Allen a little underthrown, but that's a sign of encouragement for this offense that wants to push the ball down the field vertically.
On 1st and 15, here's Whaley. Short gain. Jeffrey Simmons makes the stop. Take a look at the defense.
Yeah, well, it's not just Arkansas that's had some injuries. Mississippi State defensively as well. Desmond Harris is out, rather. So Errol Thompson, the true freshman, going to be seeing a lot of playing time today. Had 5 tackles and a sack a week ago, so this young man's got a lot on his shoulders, replacing a guy that's brought a lot of leadership to that defense.
Desmond Howard wishes he looked like that, huh?
We'll see if Errol Thompson strikes a pose today. Second and 14. Austin Allen pressured, and he will take the sack at the 45. It's Montez Sweat, who now has 7.5 sacks in his junior year.
Sweat is an elite pass rusher, but again, I call this a covered sack. Allen's holding the ball a little bit too long. One of the things we talked about at the outset of the ball game, he's got to get that ball thrown down the field. Bret Bielema made the point that 75% of the yards gained by his offense this year is 1st and 2nd year players.
So Jake Rollerson, the graduate transfer from the University of Texas, now at center. And Austin Allen's in the shotgun. Gets it away on 3rd down. Allen to the outside. We'll see how much room to run there for Kendrick Jackson. He's knocked out well short at the 45-yard line, and Montez Sweat makes another play on the edge.
Nice play there by Allen. He's looking down the field, trying to get something past the sticks. They backed up underneath it. He just took the free yards, and now you've got a chance to pooch one down there inside the 10.
And that was a 3rd and long situation that, again, Dan Eno said they had to stay away from. They were looking for 1st down success. They got behind the sticks early, and they're punting here as a result.
Johnson hits it at the 44. That's Thomas back. And Arkansas downs it inside the 5. So special teams advantage big time to the Razorbacks. Going to be a long field ahead for Nick Fitzgerald in Mississippi State. The junior from Richmond Hill, Georgia. Trying to rally the Bulldogs down 7-0. So Fitzgerald and the Bulldogs backed up inside their 5. Fitzgerald from his goal line, hands up, loose football. It's in the end zone, and it's recovered by the Razorbacks. Touchdown, Arkansas. Ageem has another strip. Gidry on top of it. The Hogs have indeed answered the call.
If there is a downside to a dual threat quarterback and the zone read package, it's the ball security. The running back thinks he's getting it. The quarterback's trying to keep it. The ball gets loose.
This is McTelvin Ageem just playing off of his block backside. Rick, again, this is one of the better offensive lines in the Southeastern Conference. But they're making some costly mistakes, and Arkansas is capitalizing.
For Mississippi State, between Alabama and Ole Miss, is an early morning kick in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And the number 16 team in the nation finds itself down 14-0. The first lost fumble by the Mississippi State offense this year turns into a fumble recovery touchdown for Arkansas. Only other fumble loss was on special teams. So that is now 2 turnovers by Mississippi State. The Razorbacks have turned both of them into touchdowns, 14-0. And that's a kick out of bounds. It'll be at the 35-yard line.
This drives a coach crazy. You got everything going your way, and now you're going to give him great field position.
Williams will take the handoff, and Harris Williams, a junior from West Point, Mississippi, gets across the 40. Let's go. Chains hanging low. Well, the turnover chains taking over college football. Williams is dropped for a loss as the Hogs rally. Richardson and Greenlaw lead the charge.
Little tackle trap there, Aaron. Talk about it.
It certainly was, but when you have linebackers that read this and come straight downhill, they get inside. It was nice flow. These linebackers, I'm watching them today, are playing pretty aggressive. Just a beautiful job by Dijon Harris getting there and then running to the football. The pursuit. This Arkansas defense doing a nice job of corralling the ball carriers, and that's going to be important, particularly when Nick Fitzgerald runs the football.
3rd and 6. Bulldogs looking for their first down. Fitzgerald pumps, throws over the middle. Nice grab across the 50-yard line. Tough one for Osiris Mitchell. That is just his 5th catch of the year, and it's a solid one for 12.
Nice job by Fitzgerald there, looking to his left early and coming backside to a receiver coming into his view, and Osiris Mitchell doing a great job of catching the ball behind him.
Talked about that accuracy being a problem. That ball was behind him, a much better catch than throw, but Fitzgerald found the open receiver.
First time the Bulldogs move the chains. Fitzgerald, handoff on the sweep. Correction, big sweep. Fitzgerald keeps it for a couple. Let's take a look at the lineups.
Well, we talked about Mississippi State having some issues. Their top 4 wide receivers are out, so they're having to rely on some young guys. So Dedrick Thomas led this team last week in receptions, 2 for 30 yards. A week ago, the first 10 receptions were by 10 different receivers, so they play well and spread the ball around in the sandbox.
On 2nd and 7, fake it, pressured again. Fitzgerald on the roll, looking for help. Now he's going to tuck it and get out of bounds to bring up third down. Dre Greenlaw applying the pressure. On 11 a.m. kickoff here in Fayetteville, and no question which team was ready to go. The Arkansas Razorbacks get 2 takeaways, turn them both into TDs. And at the end of one, Hogs over the Dogs, 14-0. With our producer Scott Brandwine, director Mark Grant, our hardworking and early rising CBS crew. First play of the second quarter. Low snap, Fitzgerald handles it. Plenty of room to run. So he takes it to the right side, and that hole quickly closes. Fitzgerald keeps it alive, and he's sacked again. This time it's Grant Morgan with another solid play in the middle for Arkansas after Harris missed. Morgan finishes it off.
Dan Mullen is going to get on Nick on this particular play because as he's waiting for something open, you can see a wide open gap there for him to just take off and get at least a portion of this yardage and give him a 4th down opportunity.
And I've really seen Nick Fitzgerald being a rhythm thrower. Harris misses it, but the pursuit, getting him down on the ground, was critical to that play being successful. 6
sacks allowed in the first 10 games. 2 today as the Arkansas D getting after it. 14-0 Razorbacks, stopping Fitzgerald and the Bulldogs again.
Welcome back here to Arkansas as the Razorbacks lead Mississippi State 14-0. I want to give you an update on the injured offensive line for Arkansas. Froholt left the game, the starting left guard, towards the end of the first quarter, has since been taken into the locker room. It is an injury to his left ankle. Now, it is the same left ankle he injured in the LSU game last week, so he is questionable on his return. As for Zach Rogers, the starting center, who got injured around the 8:30 mark in that first quarter, he will return. He is actually on the field right now, so good news, they have their starting center back out there.
That's going to be a big help to him. Thanks for that great report, John. I was watching Froholt move around in practice, and he looked pretty good. He went down, as you said, a week ago and came back in, but it's really helpful that Zach Rogers, just like in baseball, man, you got to be strong up the middle. You lose your center, that's going to really disrupt what happens up front.
On 1st and 10, Allen fakes it, loading up. Allen flings it to the outside. Williams makes the grab, and he's popped right around the line of scrimmage. Second down, handoff. Williams picking his way to near the 20-yard line.
Aaron, I know you love when backs show great patience. Right here, he allowed his block to take place and cut behind it.
A lot of young backs, Rick, to your point, don't understand that they can be our friends. They can help themselves by helping us and setting up the linebackers just with their eyes, just with a dip of the shoulders, as we saw in that last play. And that's very encouraging. If you're Arkansas, notice when their center comes back in, they've had more success than they've had in a while.
Steamboat package. Ty Story is in at quarterback for Arkansas.
Coach Bielema's eyes lit up when talking about this particular package.
He can scoot. He's got some legs, man.
And Story is dropped for a loss. The Steamboat, not much steam.
Not much steam at all. Obviously a missed assignment there as the defensive end for Mississippi State just raced straight up the field unblocked.
Yeah, you can't let guys come up and come inside like that. He just got too much pressure. There was some stuff right in his face as well. It was almost like they were trying to read 43 Fletcher Adams. They let him go, but that certainly wasn't executed very well.
Back-to-back 3 and outs. Johnson hits it. Dedrick Thomas, fair catch, grabs it right at the 50. Bulldogs set up at midfield. So the Mississippi State defense, Todd Grandham's bunch. Marquis Spencer and the guys. Loving it. Okay.
A little bit of strategic advantage here. All right, if you're Mississippi State, man, you get back to running this football. We haven't seen Nick Fitzgerald have much success with his legs. I think just a straight inside run game with Harris Williams is the way to go.
Officially 2 yards rushing for Fitzgerald. And here's, sure enough, Williams. Dan Mullen thinking exactly what you're thinking. Williams gets the handoff. Jackson on the stop.
Well, you want to take a look at Nick Fitzgerald. I mean, just a tremendous player, but he's been getting harassed all day. Give some credit to Paul Rhodes, who's back in. The defense has been covering up the receivers, but the linebackers, their recognition, and look at all the hats around the football, Rick. It's been impressive.
The #1 goal for Paul Rhodes is to make him uncomfortable and keep him out of rhythm. Put a check in that box for the Arkansas defense.
Fitzgerald and Keaton Thompson on the field right now. This is Thompson in motion. The backup quarterback fumbled it. Fitzgerald on the roll. Looked like some kind of trick play there to try and throw the Razorbacks off, but Ramsey gets the pressure, and it's just a busted play to make it 3rd down.
Well, they're trying to bring the left guard to pull across him, and when he does, he actually hits him. Deion Calhoun trips over him, but I think you're right, Carter. They were trying to get him out on the edge. Something broke down, and that's just a mental error, misassignment, just a bust offensively, bringing up a 3rd and long situation, something largely they've been able to avoid this game.
Another position where Dan Mullen, who also serves as the play caller, is going to try to figure, am I in 4 down here?
Bulldogs got it at midfield. How can they take advantage? 3rd and 7 with a good field position. That's zipped complete to the 35. Good throw from Fitzgerald. Move the chains on 3rd down, and it's Thomas who makes the grab.
Nice job by Thomas there, and it was Cameron Curl, #2, an aptly named quarterback that slipped on this, that allowed a little bit of the separation. He did a nice job of getting back up off the ground, but how about the route, getting past the sticks? Maybe a little bit of push off there, Rick.
Jordan Thomas is 6'5", 280. I don't remember a wideout going down and running a little hook route for you at 6'5", 280.
Longest offensive play of the day for Mississippi State. And now Fitzgerald pressured, looking for him again in the end zone. Jordan Thomas had a step.
Now the big fella's running a corner route. Last week he looked like he just ran straight down there and they just wanted to body him up. But this time he actually goes down, puts his foot in the ground, and breaks off to the corner. And a beautiful route.
And he's manhandling Cameron Curl, who turned after this play. He's looking at the official saying, hey, man, what's going on?
Rhodes talked about, we cannot get close to this guy because we have no chance.
Missed opportunity on the deep ball. So 2nd and 10, back to the ground game. Williams, nothing there. You got 3rd and long again. Grant Morgan, another great play from middle linebacker.
Great fire zone call right here by Paul Rhodes. He's going to slant his defense from the field into the boundary. They take some gaps away, get themselves a stop to get a 3rd and long.
And ironically, that's the same strategy that Mississippi State used last week against Alabama, but this time Arkansas prevails.
Fitzgerald started 3 for 3. He's just 2 for his last 5. And now into 3rd and 10.
Quarterback run formation empty.
5 wide receivers.
Also got single coverage there into the boundary.
Time to throw. Another deep shot. Fitzgerald misses. Out the back of the end zone, intended for Couch.
This is exactly what we saw in the final play last week against Alabama. He threw the ball out of the end zone. No chance for success on that. And this is exactly what Dan Mullen's going to say when he gets back over to the sideline. You've got to give us a chance to make a play. That's a 50-50 ball. You just made it a 0% ball.
And the offense is out there on 4th and 10. So Fitzgerald is 2 for his last 6 passing now.
Probably a good decision given the way that Arkansas just hasn't been able to move the football. I like it.
Single coverage there into the boundary again against the big fella.
And Fitzgerald make the throw. Looks that way. Now on the roll, Fitzgerald stops. Flings complete.
Big time.
And the Bulldogs convert on 4th down.
This is the kind of play we used to call dash, Aaron, back in the day where you give them a drop back look and then a predetermined sprint to the left right here. You can see the offensive line pinning that, giving him a fresh pocket, and he just puts a laser on his target.
It almost, to me, Rick, seems like Fitzgerald is a more accurate passer down the field when he's on the move there. It's like he doesn't think, he just lets it rip, and it seems to find its target more.
1st and 10. It's Fitzgerald slipping his way inside the 10, inside the 5, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Mississippi State. Fitzgerald with the arm to convert on 4th down, and then with the legs to take it into the end zone.
That's the magic of Nick Fitzgerald. And to your point, Aaron, does he like to move? He's like the Sundance Kid. So can I move? I'll hit anything you want when I move. And can he move? 6'5", 230, getting into the end zone.
Acceleration and speed, just a great open field runner. He had been pretty quiet till that last play, And any sort of momentum that Arkansas had, you felt a little bit of that leave this stadium.
PAT sneaks in there. So with the raindrops falling on his head, Fitzgerald.
I see what you did there.
Some dancing his way into the end zone.
My mom loves it. She's a Robert Redford fan.
How weird is this? Mississippi State, their last drive was 9 plays, 18 yards and a punt. This one, 8 plays, 50 yards, the touchdown. Arkansas has only 3 offensive snaps in the second quarter. And that'll be a touchback. Warren lets it go to the 25.
Haven't seen any real deep shots on play action from Arkansas yet.
Whaley, there's a shot, and it's Simmons who gets the tackle for loss on Whaley. Big
Aaron,
time.
That is why Jeffrey Simmons was such a top recruit.
But just an unbelievable job. Here he is right here, just going to cross the face of the left guard and come inside just with a rip move underneath. And as a running back, you just don't have a chance. Your job up front is to stay between the defender and the ball carrier. You've got to do that to give the play a chance. That play had no chance, and now Arkansas is behind the sticks.
Last time we saw Jeffrey Simmons AT, he had 2 touchdowns against Louisiana Tech in one of the weirdest games of the year. Austin Allen throwing, Hammond's out of the backfield. He takes a big pop across the 25-yard line.
Wow.
Statements being made right now, and that was Jonathan Abram, the junior from Columbia, Mississippi.
This is what it's about. Take a listen.
Jonathan Abram getting a chance to play this week because Brandon Bryant's down, taking full advantage.
6 tackles a week ago, and again, I think the thing that really has elevated Mississippi State's game on both sides of the ball is that they are a physical football team, a big reason why they took Alabama to the wire a week ago.
Arkansas's at back-to-back 3-and-outs. Austin Allen with a deep shot. Cannot end that trend, overshooting Jonathan Nance, and so it will be the 3rd straight 3-and-out after Arkansas took the 14-0 lead.
Great decision by Austin Allen to take advantage of the single coverage. What you have to do when you're throwing this kind of ball over the top is you have to add air to the throw. With the windy conditions, that becomes a little bit problematic. That's what cost him right there. Arkansas now 0 for 5 on 3rd down.
And really nice route by Nance. He was inside the numbers, giving himself room to the sideline to get that throw had it been on target. But again, a missed opportunity.
High snap, open by Johnson. Now he's going to roll at the 20. Johnson's in trouble. He'll be dropped at the 15 as the Bulldogs bring down Blake Johnson. And after a perfect start for Arkansas, it's starting to unravel for the Razorbacks.
That was a snap issue, guys. The snap took him away from his spot. He saw a free rusher, started to run for his life, thought he could get it kicked, realized that was going to be an issue, and he was in no man's land.
It's just a bust up front. When they close the gate, they only have 3 to block 3. That should have been picked up. But something busted on the front side of Arkansas. You wonder if Austin Camps had an opportunity to be able to pick him up. And then it's just trying to make a play, making some chicken salad. But regardless, Mississippi State has great field position.
Kylan Hill's the one who made the stop. Now it's Williams in the backfield with Fitzgerald. Flag down as Fitzgerald is pushed back from the 15-yard line. With Harris leading the way, we'll check the flag. Flag was picked up. No penalty on the play. Second and 8.
Clock becoming a little bit of a factor as we get close to 3 minutes left in the first half.
Here's today's Verizon Red Zone stats. Mississippi State slightly above the average red zone TDs, and an end around here. It's Jackson on the edge with Fitzgerald blocking for him. Shoved out. Didn't quite get to the first down marker, but
excellent job right there by Errol Thompson filling in now. Excellent job.
You read what you're trying to take advantage of on the reverse is over pursuing linebackers. Great job on that right edge by Nick Fitzgerald. Keep an eye. Let's see his hands. Okay, they're inside. He's driving a little bit of a face mask there. He fights it off. And a nice change of pace there for Mississippi State. They are so dangerous down here in the low red zone, Rick. Keep your eye on number 7's legs. He hurts a lot of teams, including Alabama, inside the 10-yard line.
And here's 3rd and 1. It's Williams, touchdown! From down 14-0 early on the road at Arkansas. 16th ranked Mississippi State has fought back a PAT away from tying it before the half.
And to your point, Aaron, the preoccupation with number 7, Nick Fitzgerald, in the running game down here takes people away from where they should be. Trying to do too much, you end up leaving gaps open, and Williams takes full advantage.
That was too easy.
This one's PAT is good. So it was a 14-0 start for Arkansas. We're even at 14 at the half. For John Triffin's halftime interview, and Coach Bielema, go to Twitter at SEC on CBS. Now let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio. 16th ranked Mississippi State even with Arkansas on the road. 14-all here in Fayetteville. Let's take a look at the GMC game changer. Everything was going the Hogs' way, and then there's this special teams mistake. Johnson, the punter, dropped at the 15. So Williams takes it in, and that tied the game. Carter Blackburn, Rick Neuheisel, Aaron Taylor, John Triffin on the sideline. Razorbacks had all the mojo early.
They did, and they're feeling very good about themselves with Austin Allen back at quarterback. He was 7 of 9 in the first half, 55 yards, but sacked 3 times. They're going to have to do a better job of getting first down yardage so that 3rd and long isn't such a problem.
Yeah, they were over 5 on 3rd down. If you're Mississippi State, you have to eliminate the mistakes. Just relax and execute. 2 turnovers led to 14 points, had a holding penalty, missed field goal. Mississippi State, if they come out and execute in the second half, they'll be fine. Expect them to run the ball and take some deep shots on play action. Looked like they were out physicaling the defensive backs of Paul Rhodes and that Arkansas team there in the first half.
Bulldogs won the opening toss and deferred. So just what they had hoped for, getting the football to begin the second half, but a 14-all game, and here's another special teams blunder, and the Bulldogs are penned back inside their own 10 as Todd finally gets on top of it. Well, we have seen myriad special teams mistakes on both sides, and that's the 14 points for Arkansas were off of turnovers, including the muff punt.
When you're playing in close games, coaches will absolutely preach the virtue of field position, and these are all field position changing plays. We saw a fumble, ball hitting the shoulder of the Mississippi State defender as he ran down on a punt, became a turnover for Arkansas. Here, another turnover changing play.
-2 rushing yards for the Hogs. Fitzgerald, hands off, that's Aris Williams. Second effort across the 15. Williams gets a good push. Richardson finally stands him up after a gain of 8 on first down for Aris Williams.
I've been so impressed with Williams all season long. He's an experienced power runner that bulked up, added 10 pounds in the offseason since last year. He's more quick than fast, but he's certainly athletic enough to get to the outside. But what makes him special is what happens upon contact. Look at the leg drive. That's just out-muscling people at the point of attack. At 22 is a good one.
Second and short. Fitzgerald designed QB run. Balls forward just enough to move the chains to the 21.
We called Nick Fitzgerald the Sundance Kid. Aris Williams is clearly Butch Cassidy. This is a 1-2 punch in terms of their ability to move the chains.
Well, remember in 2014 when Josh Robinson had over 1,200 yards and 6 yards per carry, that's when this offense was at an all-time high, #1 in the first ever college football playoff. Having a mobile quarterback is one thing, but when you can add a running back there, it's outstanding.
Fitzgerald, run pass option. He takes the run and pushes it across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Greenlaw on the stop.
The old offenses back in the 70s were called triple option. This is nothing more than triple option again, guys. This is RPO world. You're going to have a zone read here. He's now got an option to throw the ball out to his wide receiver. He decides to keep it himself. This is really hard to stop.
That puts the defense in a bind. How are you supposed to have good eyes when the offensive line are coming off like that?
Hasn't been plus territory. So Fitzgerald, play action. Loads up, finds Williams out of the backfield. Williams shaking his way across the 40, inside the 35. Williams all the way to the 30. It's a gain of 19.
Beautifully schemed pass, a throwback, what we call a layer pass, meaning 3 receivers in 1 vertical plane. You're going to have a deep receiver, a corner receiver, and you can see Williams slipping out into the flat. Both the deep receivers taken, no one home for Aris Williams. Fitzgerald getting wise as he ages here in this offense, taking what's open.
There's no question, man. That's another example of the development in the throw game for him.
So Fitzgerald handing off. Well, right into that cover 0, and it worked out all right for Arkansas as they load up against the run.
I think Dan Mullen has a kind of a faucet status with his quarterback. He says there are plays where you can check out of and go to something that you think is an invitation. There are other plays where I want you absolutely do what I'm telling you.
But he's trusting Fitzgerald the more he goes along. We asked defensive coordinator Paul Rhodes about what it is that they wanted to do in terms of RPOs and being able to get beads on them, and they just didn't have a read. But this is what you expect from Mississippi State, just to try and grind the ball out and then take the throw opportunities when they open.
So remember, this drive started inside the 10 after the bobble by Todd finally picked it up, and Mullen's offense was backed up. And 9 plays in now. You got 3rd and 5 on the Arkansas 25.
We saw cover 0 on the first down play. I'm expecting it again right here. 0 meaning no safeties back, all man across the board. Dan Mullen sees it as well.
So into that look on 3rd and 5. Fitzgerald, pressure, heaves it, almost picked. Very dangerous pass. Cameron Curl nearly had the pick.
4th down and 5, 4th down and 5.5. Do you trust your field goal kicker? Remember, he missed one earlier in the game, or do you go ahead and go for it?
If it's me, I think you kick the field goal and take the points. If you don't get this gives a little bit of momentum to an Arkansas team that's in desperate need of it.
Fitzgerald and the offense out there. They converted on 4th down on the way into the end zone in the first half. Trying the hard count.
Cover 0 again.
Yep,
they are rolling the dice. Paul Rhodes says we are going to come after him, and we're going to lock and load, see if we can cover.
Seven's legs either running or getting him outside the pocket here.
Instead, it's Fitzgerald to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Off the hands of Jordan Thomas.
All 6'5", 280 of him. He is hard to cover.
Curl in coverage, so Curl nearly had the pick. Bulldogs go for it again on 4th down. It's incomplete. Now can Arkansas recapture the ball.
Welcome back here to Arkansas. We are all tied up at 14, and the injuries are starting to pile up for the Razorbacks. Wide receiver Devion Warren injured towards the end of that first half on a play where he was thrown out of bounds. He hit his head on the ground, as you can see there on the play. Injury, they're telling me officially it is a head injury. He is done for the game. He is not going to return. As for offensive lineman Froholt, the starting left guard, he is also not going to return. He has a boot on his left foot. It is an ankle injury that he re-injured from the LSU game. So both those guys not coming back.
And John, that just adds on to what we've already talked about and what Razorback fans have looked at all year. I mean, it is a litany of injuries. They were lucky to get Austin Allen back. Thought he was done.
It's just been so much inconsistency with so many different players having to play because of injuries. Makes a tough job even tougher for this Arkansas offense.
Whaley in the backfield. They'll take it left side. Whaley short gain on 1st down. And good second push, however, from Whaley. Confident on the field and in the classroom. Here are today's Scholar Athletes presented by Quicken Loans. Martinez Rankin for Mississippi State, and Yelda Froholt, the junior from Denmark. You just heard the report from John. His day on the field is done. Quicken Loans' commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to Mississippi State's and Arkansas's General Scholarship Funds.
Offensive linemen are always the smartest guys on the team.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it.
I'd like to check the stats on that, Mr. Taylor.
No transcripts, please.
Freedom of information. Play action. Allen dumps it. Nothing there. I mean, nothing there, and Sweat had it snuffed out again. He was all over O'Grady.
One of the things we were talking about at halftime amongst ourselves, fellas, was the throwback game, that they're staples of the Dan Enos offense. Here early in the second half, we're getting a taste of both. One results in a pass interference call on Mississippi State. This time they sniff out the screen.
Yeah, they were trying to hit the tight end right there. But to your point, well-coached Montez Sweat stays home, smelled a rat, snuffed it out.
So Arkansas in third down again. Somehow 14 points on the board without a third down conversion. Allen pressured on the roll. Austin Allen. He's going to take it himself and has the first down. The first third down conversion puts him right across the 50.
These are the subtle things that create winning play at the quarterback position. Austin Allen gets out of the pocket, extends the play, and he uses his eyes to bait this flat defender for Mississippi State back for the receiver. Right there, he ends up outgulfing them, getting to the sticks. First down, Razorbacks. Their first third down conversion of the game.
Got to give Mom Marcella some love, too. Ray talks about Bobby and Brandon and the rest of the Allen family. Got to give Mom the shot out. Fake it, toss it. This is Williams inside the 35-yard line. Second and 5. Williams loses a football. Fumble. It's kicked, and it's inside the 10, and it's still loose, and now near the goal line.
Going to be on the 1 yard line. Razorback ball.
Oh my goodness! Martin finally gets on top of it. Well, we've seen some wacky fumbles this year in games with Mississippi State. This one is one of the better plays of the day for Arkansas, and now they're hurrying up on first and goal. Allen under center. First and goal. Whaley behind him.
Umpire in there holding court until
Allen. Whaley. Pushing, fighting. He's short of the goal line.
Beautiful
Forward
stop
progress.
Right there.
Stopped inside the 1.
Errol Thompson, 40, playing downhill. Tremendous job. We've been talking about it all game long, about him playing for Desmond Harris.
Hurry up again, Aaron.
So second and goal now. Whaley takes it. Whaley stood up. Second effort. Shoving. He's in. Touchdown. But there's a flag on the play.
I think that's going to be on Mississippi State as they try to get a late substitution.
Offside, defense, the penalties decline, touchdown.
It's interesting, the rules on this substitution stuff. As long as Arkansas doesn't substitute, they can go as fast as they would like to. The defense only has the right to substitute with them. The defense only has the right to substitute with them if the offense substitutes.
And bottom line, touchdown Arkansas. And after the... All right, should we just go ahead and say it's another greased pig? I mean, that was what happened in Louisiana Tech, Mississippi State. And now here it is again. They love the pigs around here. This one was greased. It took them to the 1. I guess Arkansas wanted that pigskin a little bit more. They take it in, and somehow that results in a touchdown. Hogs. Arkansas jumped out to a 14-0 lead with a couple wacky plays, including a muff punt. They turned into a touchdown. And then on that, the most successful offensive drive of the day for Arkansas, they twice convert on third down when they didn't have a third down conversion in the game. And then the fumble all the way to the 1.
You hit the nail on the head there, Carter. It's about the third down success right there that you got to be pleased about if you're a Razorback fan.
Limpert kickoff, taken inside the 5. And this is Tom to the 20. It's handoff here. We couldn't find.
Very similar call on third down.
We could not find that tape.
Mississippi State now, it's important for them to put together a good drive here. They decided to go for it on fourth down. Now they're here down 7 again. Important game as they try to meet their team goals for season's end. Important drive right here.
Very important. We talked about the questions at the beginning of the game. Mississippi State needing to play a clean game. 2 turnovers in the first half and a turnover on downs here in the third quarter.
Second down, Fitzgerald pulls it. Fights close to the first down here. Fitzgerald pulls it. Got just enough for the first down. So 1st and 10, get 3 more. Harris another stop.
They're going to lean on their horse here. If they put together this drive, they're going to pull out all the stops to get number 7 incorporated into that run game. 1,000-yard back a year ago from the quarterback position. Lots of long plays. People now have kind of gauged up to his speed. Here he's going into a wildcat. He's going to come out and play wide receiver.
So Keaton Thompson, the true freshman from New Orleans, will take the snap at QB. On second down, Thompson ran the option, tripped up. Nothing doing. Greenlaw again on stop. Twice they brought Thompson in. Both plays been busted.
Drake Greenlaw left the game earlier with a little boo-boo, but came back. He's a tough football player, been battling some injuries. Here he is right here, just a heck of a football player. He sniffs this out right away, reads it, comes straight downhill. To be a good linebacker, you have to be able to work through the bodies and through the trash, and Greenlaw did a nice job there.
Will you define boo-boo for me?
A bump and bruise.
You got a little one. You have the boo-boo bunny in case he's a little
Big play here, boys. Thirds.
Screen. Yep. And it's Hill. Across the 45, across the 50. Hill fighting, pushing. And he will be about 3 yards shy.
Listen,
Harris finally finishes it off.
You stopped him, but you've given him a chance now to make the decision to go for it. And I think Dan Mullen will.
Well, remember, they went for it before, and yes, it's windy. Yes, they missed a field goal, but that last touchdown drive that Arkansas got started with a turnover on downs. If I'm Dan Mullen, I pooch punt this and back them up.
Well, you've also got to factor in you're about to flip it between the 3rd and 4th quarter, and so that may be factoring into this decision. You got
agreed
4th and 3 coming up, 4th quarter. And we'll see how Mullen plays it. The first play of the 4th quarter will be 4th down for the Bulldogs, who trail by a touchdown on the road. 4th down, first play of the 4th quarter. Dan Mullen elects to punt. There were some big 4th down decisions last week, Rick, in the Alabama game.
With the score tied, he had a 4th and 5 or a right around 5 on the plus 43 and decided to punt it down. It ends up resulting in a drive for Alabama. A lot of people thought he should have been aggressive. He's just playing percentages.
Logan Cook hits it at the 45. Tolliver, fair catch. Grabs it at the 10. So our 3 questions we asked you at the beginning of this ball game started with you, Rick, and the 50% on 3rd down.
I really thought Dan Enos needed to get some 3rd manageables. He was unable to, but they 2 for 2 in the second half.
Yeah, and whether or not Mississippi State could play a clean game, 2 turnovers in the first half, a turnover on downs in the 3rd quarter.
Hogs answered the call, got out to a 14-0 lead and 21-14. And that's one of the questions with everything that's happened this week.
Not to mention the grease pig.
Right, exactly. Your quarterback, DUI, Cole Kelly, athletic director fired this week. But Arkansas has been fighting. And off, first down, David Williams. And that's one of the things Paul Rhodes said, hey, just look at what happened in the Ole Miss game. We're down 31-7 in that game and fought all the way back. He said that proves that this team is far from giving up.
A lot of fight there. That's an unconventional way of running ISO right there, Aaron.
It certainly was. They're trying to get creative, and ISO is an isolation block between an offensive player with one of the linebackers. Arkansas that time bringing some motion in, coming back almost with counter action, trying to get creative to find seams up inside.
2nd and 7 out of the eye. Allen, play action. Complete out of the backfield across the 20. Johnson picks up the first down as Bret Bielema's future in question after the firing of Jeff Long.
A lot of people had, kind of had Bret Bielema under fire, but you got to remember he's without a ton of talent from that 2016 team. through graduation and injury in the spring with Raleigh Williams, who led the SEC in rushing in terms of guys that were coming back and returning. And then you have Keon Hatcher, Drew Morgan, Jerry Cornelius, Jeremy Sprinkle. All those guys are gone. So then you come back and you lose your key guys in key positions, not just the injuries, but where they were. You lose Frank Ragnow, your center, one of the best offensive linemen in the country, let alone in this conference. Your quarterback, Austin Allen, goes down. You're without Raleigh Williams. They just haven't had a lot to work with offensively, yet they've got the number 16 team in the country here on the ropes.
Sweet Jordan Jones knocked out of bounds. Adam, I've been teaching Aaron about pass setting and active hands, so we've really had some good discussions. I think AT's learning a lot about offensive line play from him. On 2nd and 3, Hammonds bottled up.
We talked about T.J. Hammonds with the coaches, and he'd been electric as an outside runner. Maybe not as quite as instinctive to get inside right there. He missed a little bit of a cutback lane. He found it late, but too late to take advantage of it. 3rd down and 3, a huge down right here, Aaron.
Rick, if you were 5'10", 185, would you be going back inside?
T.J. ain't no dummy.
So 3rd and 3.
Two-back set, that's interesting with some big boys on the left-hand side. 21 personnel, maybe a gap scheme here.
Jackson and Whaley behind Allen. Looking to throw on 3rd down. He's chased and sacked. Jeffrey Simmons drags down Austin Allen for the 3rd down sack. And now Allen is slow getting up at the 25.
When you watch Jeffrey Simmons play, he's so active and aggressive. And how about the toughness of Austin Allen, man? Sometimes maybe too tough, but here he is right here. He's just going to stay alive in the pass protection. Watch him use his hands. Does a good job. And again, that's on Johnny Gibson, number 62, who had to switch, go over to the other side. Simmons stays alive and comes up with a huge sack on 3rd down, forcing the punt.
4th sack. Johnson hits it. Dedrick Thomas calls for the fair catch. Razorbacks will down it at the 45. For the Hogs, up by 7. Here in chilly Fayetteville, Arkansas, 21-14 Razorbacks on the Bulldogs. Mississippi State went down to the wire with Alabama their last game. Now in a 1-touchdown game on the road with the Egg Bowl looming on Thursday. Try and escape Fayetteville with a road victory to get to 8 wins.
Is it my imagination or not, or are they really successful when Aris Williams just moves the pile, Aaron?
It's a zone scheme. It's a simple run. They've been doing it all game long. You're spot on, Rick. It's just a hat on a hat. When they hand it off to 22, he drags the pile.
2nd down. Why not give it to him again? And he's going to drag the pile for maybe a yard or 2, bringing up 3rd and short for the Bulldogs.
And when you look at it, it looks like an unsuccessful play, but you're still moving them. You're still forcing that defensive line, which is not deep, to stay on the field and actually exert all that kind of energy.
And this is the point in the game where that lack of depth has to show up. And if you're the Mississippi State offensive line, you got to be at your best when your best is needed, and 3rd and short is that exact situation.
Definitely 4-down situation here for the Bulldogs.
3rd and 2 now. Fitzgerald takes it and he pushes, and Fitzgerald's pushing the pile, taking on Dre Greenlaw, easily picking up the 1st down.
You know, Dan Mullen has coached a lot of great quarterbacks, one of them by the name of Tebow. Does this not look like Tebow when he drops his shoulder and moves the pile himself?
Well, when you're in a situation like this, he absolutely does. But it's not about play calling. It's about players. And that means that number 7 has to put this offense on his back and get things done like he just did there.
It's going to be Aris Williams again. Another good push. Ramsey closes the hole. Only a 1-yard gain for Williams on 1st down.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a slow developing play there. Something was off. When you're a running back and you have to kind of jitter step sideways laterally, besides getting north and south, it's a disadvantage. With 5 minutes left here in the 4th quarter, they're being awfully conservative, obviously wanting to eat up some of this clock. Is Mississippi State a team that if they score here will kick the extra point and tie it up? Will they want this thing to go into overtime. My guess is it goes to the team that can run the ball better. They'd be just fine with overtime.
And Fitzgerald takes it straight ahead again.
I'm going to tell you who's doing some yeoman effort in there. And by the way, nose guard is not what I'd call the most glorious or glamorous position on the field. But right now, Jonathan Marshall is giving everything he's got in there. This tackle he made, he got off a block the last time to create that slow-moving play for the Bulldogs. Really yeoman effort right now by the nose guard for the Razorbacks.
He's coming off the field, and they just brought in number 41, Austin Capps. Keep your eye on him. He's fresh off the bench.
4-down situation again.
3rd and 4 now. Fitzgerald, play action. Fires inside the 10, caught, touchdown, Mississippi State. Reggie Todd hauls it in. A 37-yard TD throw. A PAT away from tying it. And that looks like what Dan Mullen is going to send out. The kicking unit to even it with 3:57.
Just an impressive performance by a team that came in today's game without their top 4 wide receivers. Reggie Todd comes up huge. The second big play of the day for this offense was a big one.
PAT is good, and we're tied at 21. Nick Fitzgerald was 1 for his last 7 passes. But the play action on 3rd down drills it to Reggie Todd. 16th ranked Mississippi State has tied it up at the 4. The numbers aren't huge today for Nick Fitzgerald, but this was a huge throw.
Well, the first thing that allowed the throw to happen was the offensive line gave him good time. Keep your eye right here on 20 Reggie Todd and Andre Tolliver in one-on-one situation. Right before he starts to break, Tolliver will peek back over his right shoulder, look inside, and that allows Reggie Todd to run the corner route, create some separation. And those deep balls that have been a problem for Nick Fitzgerald found its mark for the biggest touchdown of the day for the Bulldogs.
One of the most favorite terms coaches use in college football, especially defensive college football, is eye discipline. You cannot look into the backfield when you are in man-to-man coverage. It will result in disaster. And disaster just unfolded for the Razorbacks.
Logan Cook, kickoff from the 35. Wobbler scooped up inside the 10. Stewart still fighting. He's finally down at the 20-yard line as we check with John Shriffen.
Yeah, John. We got another one.
Yeah,
we're certainly on Mississippi State.
We'll get it to you in a moment, but there's a scrum between the Razorbacks and the Bulldogs again. Second time that a fight's broken out. First time that flags have been thrown.
Foolish penalties will kill you. We talked about Mississippi playing a clean game. Yeah, there's a lot on the line, but you can't afford to lose your cool and composure no matter what happens.
We talked about eye discipline. Now we're just talking about regular old fundamental discipline. You can't lose it. There's 3 minutes and 49 seconds left in a game that's 21-21.
And obviously we got a lot to sort out here. This is where it starts.
Look at the top of the screen in the right-hand corner. Whistles getting blown. And then you can see it right as the camera faded away. There was some extracurricular. And then
after
right
the player,
there.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 13, ticketing. That's number 13's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. 15-yard penalty, first down Arkansas.
That's Dantzler who touched the punt that set up the first Arkansas touchdown. So that is the second major mistake in special teams for Cameron Dantzler.
Will not be a fun film session for him if this doesn't turn out well for Mississippi State.
So through all of that, that's the one that gets called.
And it's foolish. You have to be able to keep your composure in moments like that. I lost to Boston College my senior year because we had a personal foul on a special teams play that gave them plus 15 extra yards of coverage, of field position. And it's foolish. You can't afford to put your team in a situation like that, but you got to forget about it. Now it's up to Todd Grantham and his defense to find a way to get a stop here.
What do you think Bielema's pointing out?
He's trying to get a second 15-yarder. He felt like there should have been a penalty on the first one, and that should have been the second one.
In the end, you take 15, and it's out to the 36-yard line with 3:49.
No hurry now if you're Arkansas. You'd like to use all of this to get your winning score, whether it be a touchdown or a field goal.
Haven't seen much screen game today, but they've been able to get big chunk plays using that screen game.
Allen on the roll, out of the eye, pressured by Simmons again, throws it incomplete. Let's check with John.
Carter, Austin Allen is one tough guy. At the 7-minute mark here in the fourth quarter, he limped off the field into the medical tent. He reemerged with his right ankle heavily taped up. He is still noticeably limping around. He is in pain, but he's going to gut this one out, Carter.
Well, and you factor in the fact that Cole Kelly suspended indefinitely following the early Sunday morning DUI. Ty Story's taken a couple snaps, and neither of those plays went great. So that toughness of Austin Allen will be called on here in the fourth. Allen hands off. Whaley on the left side, tripped up at the 40. He falls forward to the 43. It was Errol Thompson who got him by the shoe top.
That was a great run by Devois Whaley because he broke a tackle, making a third manageable here.
I expect a condensed formation here. You're going to get an opportunity to find somebody open. Actually, here we're finding them in a wild hog.
Yep, sure is. This is direct snap on the roll. That's Nance. Nance has it on the edge. Takes a huge pop. The football comes out, trickling to the sideline. So they try to go with a wrinkle on 3rd and 3. Direct snap to Jonathan Nance, and he got drilled.
It looks as if they're going to go for it here.
I think you have to, given everything that's going on now. Nance is coming up, Gimpy.
Yeah, Nance took a pop. That clarification was the ball going out of bounds. Arkansas maintains possession. So here it is, 4th and 2. Allen under center. Williams behind him. Play action. Allen, time to throw. Downfield. Incomplete.
Good no call.
Flags.
Good no call. Again, a single shot rifle on 4th and 2, trying to take advantage of what they thought would be a very aggressive Bulldog defense. Great coverage, and Austin Allen in trying to create a 50-50 ball, which you want to on 4th down. You need to make sure your receivers got a chance to make the play, just overthrows it.
It's LaMichael Petway right there. He kind of gives up on the ball, and Austin Allen throws it, but it looked like Petway throttled down. He was jammed up at the line of scrimmage, but he slowed down. Austin Allen thought he was going to keep going and ended up overthrowing him there. You wonder if that's just, again, miscommunication with all the new faces at the wide receiver position for this Arkansas team.
So now Mississippi State gets it 3:01. And off Williams, and the Bulldogs a chance to win it on the road after they trailed by 14-0 early, trailed by a touchdown in the second half.
And again, the clock is not a factor for Mississippi State, though it is going to become a factor for Arkansas. They're going to have to keep track of how the Bulldogs move the ball here and maybe use some timeouts to create an opportunity to come back.
And you know you don't want to leave in the hands of the kicker with the windy conditions and lots of special teams mistakes. Fitzgerald's going to take it inside the 35. Richardson on the stop. Jason Christman missed for the first time this year. A 46-yarder in the first half. He had been perfect. So the season long is still 45 versus LSU. But those numbers may not matter a lot with the wind whipping.
That was an excellent run on that last play by Nick Fitzgerald. Great patience, set up his blocks, and then dropped his shoulders, ran behind his pads. 3rd and short. This is where your offensive line has to be at its best.
Here's your cover 0 again.
Fitzgerald's going to hand off. Williams is shot back. He didn't get it. It'll be 4th down and 1.
That was McTelvin Agim in there on that line of scrimmage, getting some penetration, which allowed the linebackers to come downhill. Now this is an interesting situation.
Paul Rhodes is rolling the dice and coming up 7s every time. He is cover 0. He has been getting extra numbers up to stop the run. Neither coach worried about this clock continuing to roll.
Mississippi State will go for it for the 3rd time today. 1 for 2. When they converted, they took it in for a touchdown.
Watch Fitzgerald's legs outside of the pocket.
Here he goes, 4th down, gets a block on the left side and has enough to convert on 4th and 1. Move the chains with 1:07 to go in regulation.
First things first, I like Paul Rhodes' decision to go cover 0 and be aggressive. Nick Fitzgerald hasn't shown the ability to be accurate, but he has shown the ability to do what he just did there, and that's run physically and pick up a 1st down.
From here, you would have a 50-yard field goal kick for Jace Chrisman. This was earlier from 46. First miss of the year. It was Tucker Day who kicked the first couple of weeks. Then Jace Chrisman took over the 3rd game versus LSU. He was 9 for 9 until that miss. The wind has been tough to gauge in Razorback Stadium. So 1st and 10, Fitzgerald gonna fake it. And now Fitzgerald stepping up, throwing, that's Williams complete. Williams is still up, and now he falls forward to the 25 on the 2nd effort. Curl finally brings him down with 49 seconds. And Mullen will use a timeout. 2nd and short, Fitzgerald, he's going to hand off, and it's Williams who has the 1st down inside the 20. Still 2 timeouts for the Bulldogs. 45 seconds as they reset the chains.
That's been the bread and butter in Mississippi State, starting to use the tempo.
So Fitzgerald, 1st and 10. He's going to keep it himself inside the 15. Fitzgerald fighting and falling to near the 5. 1st and goal, Mississippi State.
That's too easy. They're going to try and score and win this game on the run game. They don't want to leave this up to the kicker. They're putting it in 7's hands.
Oh, it's Fitzgerald on 1st and goal. Takes it to the 6.
There, Bret Bielema uses his timeout. Forced to at this point. This ball will go to the center of the field, guys. It's going to try to set it up, almost an extra point for the Bulldog field goal kicker.
But you would take the touchdown.
Right, you would take the touchdown.
I think you run Aris Williams inside on a zipple zone concept. You read the defensive end to the left side. If he crashes down, Fitzgerald keeps it. He may walk in.
Fitzgerald rolling. Fitzgerald looks to throw to the goal line, and it is caught. Touchdown, Mississippi State. Thomas holds it in. And forget about the kick. Forget about running it. It's Fitzgerald in the air to give the Bulldogs a lead with 17 seconds left.
How about the play call here and the trust you have in your quarterback? Poise is being at your best when your best is needed.
Did that ball hit the ground?
It looked like it hit the ground, but it also looked like he had control of it.
Touchdown.
Biggest catch of Dedrick Thomas's Mississippi State career.
He's on the pogo stick.
Is that what that is?
I guess.
Glad you diagnosed it, AT. Wow, what a drive. And Fitzgerald, 2 TD passes in the 4th. Yeah, he's walking off with a drive down the fairway. That's his dance.
The play call and the throw there, though. My goodness.
Chrisman finally gets to kick it, but it's a PAT, and it's Mississippi State by a touchdown. Down by 2 TDs early. The Bulldogs lead it late in the 4th. Dedrick Thomas has earned the chain with a TD grab, and it was so close to incomplete. Thomas has the touchdown. Back-to-back touchdown drives led by Nick Fitzgerald in the 4th. Both of them TD passes. And number 16, Mississippi State, up by 7.
What do the kids say, Aaron? That's off the chain?
A good one, Rick. Logan Cook, short kickoff, bobbled. Arkansas hoping for a miracle now with 13 seconds.
13 seconds. You're going to have to get a big chunky yardage here so that you can throw it in the end zone. You still got a timeout.
A hobbled Austin Allen. Here's the toss it back, trying to keep it alive. Looks like this is going to be the last shot for Arkansas. They've already gone to the lateral play. Back at the 20, now at the 15-yard line, keeping it alive. And it is scooped up at the 9. The ball is still alive as of now. The lateral to the 30 with zeros on the clock, and that's going to do it. Mississippi State rallies in the 4th, 28-21. Dan Mullen puts the full faith into his quarterback, Nick Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald delivers. A 28-21 win, sending Arkansas to 4-7, 1-6 in the SEC. So for Aaron Taylor, Rick Neuheisel, John Schrippen, I'm Carter Blackburn saying so long from Fayetteville, Arkansas. 28-21. We'll get you to Adam Zucker in our New York studio right after these messages.